Hello, today we are joined by Curtis Nelson from Bos Realty Group. He is the owner and founder. Um, so Curtis, what made you want to start a real estate company?
Yeah, for sure. So my background really is I came from a very heavy construction background, construction family. Um, and I worked kind of as a carpenter over the years, and then I worked into the office and I turned into an operations manager where we really did design, build residential construction. And in that position, I had a lot of experience with real estate agents, bankers, lenders, appraisals, inspectors, designers. I mean, you kind of name it, but it really always boiled back to the first step when we met owners is they were buying and selling real estate, right? And that's how
Right.
it got them to the door of, okay, I bought a house, now I need to work on it, or I bought a piece of property, now I need to build on it.
Yeah.
And in that position, I just found that there were or there was kind of a little bit of a disservice or a disingenuine and a kind of a bad rap on real estate agents. And that just kind of said, hey, they just come to the table, they make the connection, and they say, good riddance, give me my check, I made the sale. And after doing that for several years, I just kind of said, hey, there's got to be a better way. We need to have more experienced real estate agents. We need agents with kind of a better background that come from the building industry, that come from title, that come from inspections, appraisal, that just, that are active investors themselves. And I wanted to weed out the people that give real estate agents that, used car salesman approach.
Yeah.
Um, so about 3 years ago, I started the company, and I phased out of construction and phased into real estate. And we've just kind of, built this company that is geared around having very like-minded, strong individuals for real estate agents that really know what they're talking about and know what they're doing, and just, provide a very valuable service to our customers.
So customer focused,
Yeah, so we're
client focused.
definitely very client focused. We're a small town, and almost I think everyone that works here is from, very local or from a small town.
Right.
Um, and that, I mean, I definitely pride ourselves on that we say, hey, we're your agent next door, right?
Yep.
We know you, we hunt, we fish, we go to the park, we do community stuff together, and we're not going to steer you wrong.
Yeah.
So I really push on that, giving candid advice when needed, and just, doing the right thing for sure.
Sure. That's awesome. So what's the story behind the name?
Yeah. So the name Boss, BOS. Some people say Bose, some say BOS, but it's technically Boss. And the power behind that is, so my mother was named Cora Boss, and she was in a car accident several years ago, passed away. And ever since that day, it basically kind of changed my life to say, okay, there's got to be more. There needs to be something different. We got to follow through with our dreams and our ideas and our, kind of our goals. And, so there's a few years there where I, after she passed away, that I didn't start the company. But as soon as I started thinking about it and talking about it, it was kind of a no brainer that I wanted to pull
Sure.
her name into it, and kind of have that, that long lasting effect of she's still part of everything I do. And then it also, like, that name then really drives deep to the core of what the company's about, of, being there for your client, giving them candid advice, kind
Sure.
of following through with what you say, and really being, true and honest to your core, as well as providing good value to whoever you're helping.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing a lot of people look to agents to do, but a lot of agents fail to really either follow through or are sincere when they follow through.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely something I think our agents kind of pride themselves on, doing the right thing all the time, no matter what.
Yeah,
So it's
for
not about
sure.
it's not about us, it's about the client. So
Yeah, and that's hard to do. And real estate agents are fiduciaries, right? And I don't know if everyone knows what fiduciaries are, but it really boils down to that we are really supposed to be entrusted with our clients to act in their best financial interest, not
yep,
ours.
yep,
And when there's a sale on the table, it's hard to take your mind off of that sale and say, okay, is this best for my client? Is this the right home for them? Are they making a sound investment?
hmm,
Is everything they're doing the right time? And if it's not, every one of our agents surely is the kind of person that says, hey, this isn't right. Something is off. It's not the best thing for you right now. Let's keep looking.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's what I really like about the people we have working for us and with us right now, for sure.
Awesome. So there's a lot of questions, and a lot of buyers and sellers are all asking the same questions. Where do we think 2021 is headed?
Sure. Sure. It's going to the moon. That's where it's going.
Going to the moon. That's right.
No, that's a good question. And we talk a lot about it with probably a lot more with lenders and then a lot more with buyers, because sellers, I think if you're a seller right now, I mean, it's a good time to sell.
Oh, absolutely.
And sellers are really, I mean, you could argue it's a good time to sell whenever for a seller, depending on when you bought it. You could have made money in the crash. You could make money at the top, at the bottom, wherever you are. But for buyers, that's surely where a lot of people kind of get stumbled up on, hey, is now a good time to buy? How do I find my next house, right? Where do I go?
Right.
And, no one can probably really accurately say, here's where the market's going, without a question. I know what it's going to do. I know where it's going to be. I know where interest rates are going to, what they're going to
There's a lot of
do.
variables there.
Yeah. And I always tell people in that aspect that I refer back to a lot of times when you look at like the 2006 to really 2009, like that turmoil era. That was a really big dip. And in the low point of that, Polk County, Wisconsin really only had about 370 to 400 transactions that year. And when you look at what we did in 2019, Polk County had about 600 and I think my notes say 674, right? So we almost doubled it. And then in 2020, even among the COVID and the pandemic, we were over 700 single family homes that sold in Polk County
Wow, that's awesome.
last year. And I think I really truly think, I don't think we're going to have more homes sold, but I think we're going to be very comparable to 2020.
Sure.
And then with interest rates being, still relatively low, and I think for the first time they maybe even clicked up a couple points, or fractions, which that just kind of means home values maybe are starting to level off a little bit, because for the last few years they've kind of, they've skyrocketed, but
Yep.
now I think my prediction for 2021 is still a lot of inventory, higher priced homes, a lot of competition,
Yep.
but still a strong year for sure.
Yeah. With those rates still being, under 3%, it's people's buying power is, so much greater. So that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I know, in the office, we always talk about this and we look at examples of amortization rates and total interest paid. And, one of the last examples that we just looked at was when we compared a $250,000 house at about 4.5%, which would have been, really 4.5% or 4% would have been just a couple of years ago. We were
Yep.
at that point. And you say, okay, so my $250,000 house then might be worth 300 now, and that difference might scare people. But when you look at the interest rates of only 2.5, 2.8, that under 3, when you do the math and you look at those, the payment on your $250,000 house at 4.5% is about $1,260 a month, $1,300 a month. You take that same house now and say it's 300,000 at 2.5%. That payment is actually only $1,200, so it's less.
So you're actually saving money, but your house is
Yeah,
$50,000 more. Or
for sure.
Yeah, that's
Interest
pretty.
rate is a pretty significant factor, and I don't think people realize how much it
Yeah.
saves on your monthly payment. Um, you know, and even myself, like when I bought my house, I think I was at 3.8, and even in real estate, as the rates dropped, I didn't fully understand until I really got into it to say, okay, hey, if we can even lower it from a 3.8 to a 2.8,
Yep.
it saves me, a couple $100 a month in payments. And over the course of my loan, I mean, it's tens of thousands of dollars for sure.
Yep. Yep. We just did a refinance also, bringing it from, oh, what was it, like 3.8 ish to like 2.8. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we took out some cash just to have as a extra, and then our payment was not effective. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Right. No, it's for any buyers out there, because those are the ones that are the most skeptical about spending that extra money in
Yeah.
purchasing a home. Um, I encourage all of our real estate agents and all of our buyers to do that amortization schedule with them to say, okay, hey, realistically, even if you spend 50,000 more up front,
Hmm.
you're going to save 20, 30, 40,000 on the back end just based on interest rate. So it's in your payment really probably is even less than what
Right.
you can or what you would think it would be.
Right. So yeah, that's all interesting stuff when you start looking at the numbers and how the buying power of people.
Yeah.
So the next kind of thing I wanted to talk about was what what do you think, or what are you striving to do as far as what sets Boss Real Estate Group apart from others? I mean, we are a local group. We're all local. We're smaller, so we don't have the big administrative stuff going on. It's just us
Yep.
as agents working for the clients. So from there, what do you think like sets us apart?
Yeah, so I'll kind of break it into two categories. I'll try to do them really quickly. And so category one is what sets us apart with our customers. And I think you touched on it really good, is just to say, hey, we're small, we're local, we're a boutique style brokerage. And we don't have the Keller Williams or the Edina or the Century 21 name, but all those companies now are such technology driven. That technology is accessible to the small guys like us. So even though we're small, our back end is the same exact technology as the big companies,
Right.
which really opens our doors to say, hey, we can market the same, we can do the same searches, we can do the same networks, we can do the same promotions.
Yep.
So it really it puts the little guy and the big guy on a even playing field in terms of resources, right?
Right.
Which is huge for our clients. And then we can go into a client's house and say, hey, I know how to do the exact same thing as any of those big companies, and I'm
For
going to
sure.
do it on a local level where I know your name, I know your kids, I know where you like to eat, I know what you need for a housewarming gift. So it's really neat on that side. On the agent side of what we do different as a company for an agent is the idea that we've created a brokerage that's kind of like an a la carte buffet, where with
Hmm.
these big companies, I mean, they're very successful, so you can't knock them, but they're a little bit more of an all or nothing, where when you join them, you get the full list of here's what you get it all, right?
Yep.
But you pay for it all. And as an agent or a new agent or a transitioning agent that's in our smaller communities, they don't need 1 through 30. They mainly need number 1 through 5. And
Right.
so what I do is I've essentially put all the resources up and say, tell me what you need, and then we'll provide only what you need. And then that's how we build our business, is to say we fill your gaps in your personal business, and don't go crazy on it, because you don't need crazy. You just need the essentials.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Providing the agents with the resources and tools we need to get the job done for our clients, but still retaining that local vibe. That's great.
Yep, for sure. Yep, and it's been working good. I mean, year one we closed about 60 homes. Year two we were at about 110. Now
Okay.
year three our goal is about 225. And I mean, it's just we have a really good program going, and you included. We have a great group of real estate agents that really go above and beyond, for sure, for our local communities.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Curtis, for jumping on the Zoom today. Much
Yeah, for sure.
appreciated. Just to talk about the Bos Realty Group. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a good day.
For sure. Sounds good. Thank you much.